Because if the soul is cared for, we have space to care for the collective. If my soul is nourished, I have space for the collective. If my soul is hydrated, I have space to hydrate the collective. But if I'm doing this and I'm not nourished, I don't have space for the collective. I could possibly be performing. And how do we know when we're performing? Because today, I want to encourage people to feel your feelings, to notice that again, we have witnessed someone being murdered by a system that has full immunity. That is not something to take lightly. That is something to grieve. There is something about witnessing a murder. Oh no. Naima, can you give me my charger? Sorry. TikTok just went out. I don't even know if y'all can still see me on Facebook. Uh-oh. Oh no, did I go out everywhere? Where is everybody? Oh, there you are. Hey everyone. Just a second. I'm having some technical difficulties. But I'll be back. Malik, Naima, I'm going to need a lot of support because I'm going to be working for the next few hours. So, Malik, I need some more warm water in one of my red packets. I don't know. Oh, well, save the changes. My account didn't meet the criteria to go live on somewhere else. Y'all done heard me talking to my kids and everything. All right. Right now, I'm live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I'm Maisha T. Hill. I'm the curator and executive director of Heal Your Way Forward. I am a United States citizen sitting with the grief of this moment. I am a United States citizen sitting with the grief of this moment. And what are you sitting with today? What are you holding in this moment? What's alive for you in this moment? What hurts? And maybe nothing hurts. Maybe you're unsure. Maybe you're uncertain. But this is the moment that we ask ourselves, what are we holding? This is the moment where we say, okay, I can't step out of performance. You can read that in chapter. I don't know my chapters by heart. But in chapter 6, page 99, you can read about real action is not a performance. But today we're talking about the room for tears. I'm going to read it. Probably might read the whole thing and then log out. If you're a member of the Heal Your Way Forward Collective, if you wouldn't mind letting folks know that we are live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. If people want to hear some inspiring words tonight, and on Substack, on the old Substack, that would be beautiful. Just get myself situated here. Whew. There's a lot happening. And I'm here to remind you that now is not the time to turn on yourself at all. Now is not the time to turn on yourself. Now is also not the time to sit around and listen to the people say you're a bad white person and then you opt into performative optics and spend your money so that you can make yourself feel good to not be a bad white person. Now is not the time. Now is not the time for oppression Olympics. Now is not the time for self-flagellation. We're not doing that right now. We're not flagellating ourselves. We are grieving the loss of yet another American student citizen in the last 2 weeks. I am not able to legally go sit on the corners on the streets because I've recently had a stroke. But what I can do is do what I do best, which is use my voice and these platforms to remind you that first, you're a human being. before you move into human doing. So the first thing you want to do in this moment is turn inward and not onward. Turning on yourself right now looks like the self-flagellation. Oh my gosh, I'm such a bad white person. I wish I would have done more. Oh my gosh, I wish I would have. There's no shoulda, woulda, coulda. All there is forward. Someone, y'all are welcome to post my Venmo links because this is about to turn into a sermon. I can feel it. All we have is forward. All we have is understanding and learning. How do I keep my nervous system grounded? How do I grieve? How do I make space for my grief? How do I make space for my own humanity, to make space for the collective humanity? This is collective grief. Be mad, be angry, be pissed off. Don't turn that on yourself. We all know what's happening next is that this system we live in is going to try to gaslight us to believe that we didn't see what we didn't see, that this was a dangerous person, that the officer felt attacked. This is what they've done with Black lives, and now they're doing it with a white male white life. And for those of you who call yourself feminists, for those of you who've been like, fuck the patriarchy, hey Shannon, hey Janine, today's not the day for that. Because today you saw a man be murdered for he was protecting the women. And they jumped him and they murdered him in plain sight. You don't need to watch the video either. The video came across my feed. Y'all know I don't watch these videos. If you're new to my work, you probably don't know. I never have to watch videos. I believe what happens happen. But here we are. Alex Jeffrey Preddy, 37-year-old licensed nurse, federal worker, was attempting to help women who have been thrown to the ground. An ICU nurse who worked at a VA. And he didn't just protect women on the ground today, he protected women all the time. This is a deep wake-up call. This isn't a moment of fuck the patriarchy. At this point, it's not even it's the patriarchy, it's the system. I want you all to get that. The patriarchy is the narcissist. Okay? Whiteness is a ritual. Whiteness is a cult. Oppression is the ritual. And what we're witnessing is when a system of oppression wants to prove that it has nothing to lose. This is not about you being a bad white person and not doing enough. So if you have been in your head for the last few hours, oh, I took my jacket off. Oh, it's getting real. If you've been in your head, oh yeah, the last few hours thinking this is your fault, you should have done more, you should have been on the ground, you should the shoulda, woulda, coulda, we ain't got time for that. We've been in revolution. For those of you who don't know, we have been in revolution. The problem is that you have been looking away. Now it's in our face. It's been in our face. I have the lived experience of it being in my face, but now you can't move away from it. So what do we do, Maisha? We slow down because the goal of this system is to have us bombarded with information, this disinformation, to have our nervous system stressed out so that we don't have the energy to fight back. A real revolution, we take shifts. Like right now, I'm live. In about 2 hours, a member of the Heal Your Way Forward Collective needs to be live, not me. You need access to the platform, send me an email. Every member of the Heal Your Way Forward Collective needs to be live today to help inspire the collective that we need to slow down, we need to breathe. You can read Heal Your Way Forward. That's what we do. We slow down. Our new website says that it's a kind of a mission-ish. We teach people in white bodies and bodies of culture to slow down and then engage. Because if we just keep going to engage, we're going to be exhausted. And we now know that they're deploying ICE all over the country. So while we're trying to put our efforts towards Minnesota, now they're in Pennsylvania. We get ready for Pennsylvania. Now they're already in Las Vegas. They're in Las Vegas. They're going to keep, and they're really targeting blue states. And so this is a marathon. Because, baby, we ain't synced nothing yet. This is now Underground Railroad. You know, in our collective this week, we had a name in there that we ain't synced before. And if you watching this and you a member and you was doing all that, that was COINTELPRO. Like right now, there's so much that I actually have to teach the collective, in our collective, what does COINTELPRO look like? How do you know when it's a real person? How do you know it's somebody from the government? Like, it's time now. It's not time to turn on ourselves, and it's not time to turn on each other. This is not the time for me to be like, oh, white people. If I'm gonna tell y'all something, because the grifters are gonna start grifting. If you hear somebody tell you, white people, you're trash, get your shit together, this is all your fault, unfollow and block. Because your nervous system does not need to be discredited and shaken any more than it's already been shaken. That is a grift. If you cannot be met in your humanity as a person in a white body on a liberation journey, you unfollow, unsubscribe, and block. Protect your peace like I'm protecting mine. I get very active about this because the self-flagellation and the emotional BDSM that people in white bodies put themselves through because people of culture are telling you you're a bad person, that is your oppression. You allow yourself to be oppressed. The oppressed become the oppressed, and then you're like, "Well, I'm a bad white person, so I might as well do what this black woman is telling me to do." They told me I'm a bad white person. I better sign up for their workshop or download their workbook. And I want any person in a body of culture to come for me because, baby, I'm ready this time. I got receipts. There is no reason that we in black and brown and indigenous bodies, especially black and indigenous bodies, I'm not saying hold space for the oppressor, but don't be grifting white people because you see this is a quick money grab. This is going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. Should I be compensated right now for going live and using my work to elevate and educate? Absolutely. They dropped my Venmo. Send a Venmo, come to the grief class today. But I'll be damned if I opt into, oh, white people, this is all your fault. No, what you see me do, especially if you're on TikTok, you see me say, hey, white people, this moment reminds me of this moment when black people were getting lynched and you just stood by and watched. I'm not interested in dysregulating your nervous system when we have propaganda that's already doing it. There's already propaganda dysregulating your nervous system. Why do I want to do that to you? And why do you allow yourself to be dysregulated? Why do you allow people to call you bad? That is kink. I don't know if you know this. It is an unconscious kink for you to sit there and let someone tell you you're a bad person. Because then what you do is you turn around and you make it about you and you're looking for someone to tell you you're not bad. Well, take this talk as me saying you are not a bad person. You're just overwhelmed. I want to pull up my I don't know if I have my image on this computer so I can tell you the stages of what you might be experiencing. I'm going to download some images real quick. This is not about you being good or bad. This is like your nervous system is just dysregulated. That's it. Because here we are again noticing the same thing we keep noticing. I'm going to download it as a PDF. I'm going to download that one. I'm going to go through this with you all. Then I'll read a little bit. Then I'll take a break because we have a grief group today. Yay. I don't even know what I did with that image that I made, and I feel so bad. I'm going to share my screen because once a teacher, always a teacher. We're going to go over some stress responses. Y'all ready? You're not a bad white person. You're just dysregulated. And maybe there's another word that I'm working with some of my therapist friends to oh no, not this one. I don't want to share myself. To say, because this is like, y'all, this is a new body of work emerging in real time. This is wild, ain't it? Y'all get to see my new body of work in real time because we're meeting the moment. Ain't that something? Meeting the moment. That is what we're doing in real time, friends. We are meeting the moment. What's taking so long for these slides to show up? Oh, something is wrong. I'm sad right now. I can't show what I want to show. Here we go. We are meeting the moment. Let's talk about this. This is something that exists on one of our platforms. I think it's on Instagram. It says, are you avoidant or is your nervous system dysregulated? So no, you are not a bad white person. Your nervous system is probably dysregulated. So when white people are confronted with this political moment and possibly the reality of anti-black racism, you immediately move into a parasympathetic stress response, which is your natural brake system of your brain. Yes, please send me Venmos because I have a brain that I want to go through the brain with y'all because it's fun for me to do this because I'm a neuroscience student. This is fun. I geek out on doing this. This is really exciting. Yay. Okay, I'm really excited. So what's happening is your amygdala, okay, hijacks your prefrontal cortex. So we all just witnessed some trauma today. And the back of our heads like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? Right? But when you look at history, Black and Indigenous people have done the free caretaking to help y'all when you do this. But now a lot of Black, Indigenous, and people of culture has been like, y'all figure it out. Except for me, because I still do the work, even though I have to slow down a little bit. So what's one thing you do? You might be fighting. You might fight or confront the threat or the person, the system, the people who are in Minnesota on the ground. We should all be sending like care kits, like, you know, those hot hands. We should all be like collectively sending things to people on the ground in Minnesota. So we got the people on the front lines fighting. We got people on the internet fighting MAGA. We got people on the internet fighting each other. So like, and that can look like, well, prove to me what you know, or this wasn't a murder, or you don't know what you're talking about. So right now, your nervous system and these are fighting. It's in flight. You're disengaged. You're like, I can't take this shit. I can't. I'm gonna turn the TV off. I'm just going. You're disassociated. You're not even in your body. You don't even know what your body feels like right now. So you could possibly not even be in your body. You're just like, what do I do? Right? You fawn, you begin to appease and please. So that's the self flagellation, calling yourself the bad white person, waiting for somebody on the internet to tell you something. And you're like, oh my God, tell me what to do. I'll do anything. Maisha, oh my God, please. I'm just so horrible. Not today. And I'm so grateful that y'all haven't done that today because that stresses me out. Can I keep it real? That's self-flagellation. Listen, if you're in the collective, we've been talking about that the last 2 days, not the self-flagellation. And the other thing I want to say, if you've been in the collective for a long time and you see self-flagellation, that is a mirror. Stop judging someone for flagellating yourself and pull them over in a DM and say, hey, I don't know if you noticed this, but this is what you're doing. Let's do a self-empathy practice. One of the things that happens in all white spaces is that you think you're like graduated version of somebody. That is, everybody who does something that irritates you is your mirror, and your role as a member of the collective is to go to your DCC resources and walk with someone on a self-empathy practice till you make a request of yourself to not get so irritated when it happens, and make a request of somebody else. Because if I am the Black woman in the space and I've been in the space for 8 years and I still can meet people with grace and compassion, and you're judging people for not being able to just get it, for being too emotional, that sounds like patriarchy. I don't have a Cash App, but thank you for posting that. Sorry, I went to the wrong window. So you could be in fawn, you could be in flop, you collect claps into helplessness. So you're like, okay, we're cooked. Fuck it. We're cooked. It's nothing we could do. This is my mom's fault. My mom didn't teach me how to be an anti-racist. This is Donald Trump's fault. This is Gavin Newsom's fault. This is Governor Tim Walz's fault. This is Maisha's fault. Fuck it. Let's just burn it all down. Y'all want to burn some shit down, but don't have a strategy for the disabled and the marginalized. I don't understand that. Not y'all. I'm just speaking in general. Or you freeze. You could be stuck right now or immobile. You're looking at the screen, you're dissociated, you're like, what do I do next? Somebody was murdered. I can't feel my body. I want to do something, but I'm scared. You're just in a freeze. So what's the deeper invitation? Did I add this to the slide? No. Let me stop sharing. So what is the deeper invitation? The first thing I want you all to do when you are met with bad news is I want you to take a deep breath. I know you're like, what? What do you mean take a deep breath? You want me to just go like this? No, not a shallow breath. When you see some shit on the internet, especially somebody being murdered, you need to put your phone down because you are rewarded. Ooh, my knee. Ugh. You're seeking a reward. You don't know this consciously, but when you're going like this, you're just seeking comfort. Your dopamine, you're in the dopamine reward loop and you're seeking comfort. So you're scrolling. Oh, oh, I need some more. I need to update my Amazon wish list because you're scrolling. When you see bad news, the first thing I want you all to do is learn how to catch your breath. Learn how to in for 4 and sigh out for 6. You can do it with me. Y'all ready? Let's do it a couple times. Let's go in for 4, in through our nose. Y'all ready? In through for 4 and sigh out. Let's do it again. In for 4 and sigh out. Right? Why am I telling you to catch the breath? The first thing that you do when you will come out of the womb is you belch out a cry. You breathe. The first thing you do is you belch a cry and you catch your breath when you are born into this world. And so when the things feel overwhelming, the easiest thing that you can do is to try and catch your breath. And from your breath, you can then move into a noticing practice and you can ask yourself, where's my body? The easiest noticing practice, where am I right now? You've caught your breath. Where am I right now? Okay, I'm in my house. What's something I can see? I can see the mirror on the wall. What's something I can smell? Oh no, I'm out of incense. Oh no, hold on a second. What's something I can see? You can see me lighting this because it's going to be a day. I'm about to be online probably all day. Not all day. I got to get me something to eat. Okay, so what's something you can see? You see me burning this. What's something you can smell? I now can smell this. Also, if you are someone with incense around your house, it's a good day to light a candle and burn some incense. It's a grounding practice. This is my favorite. My friend Jasmine of Queendom Cultivation gifted me these grounding incense. Shout out to Jasmine. So what can I smell? The grounding Palo Santo. That's what I can smell. Okay, what do I taste? My mouth is dry as hell. Malik, you got that water, bro? I need the water and I need a bottle of mineral water. And I need the bag of I also need the red packet of beets. See, I'm like working and parenting in real time. Engage your senses. Thank you, Jess. You breathe and you engage your senses. We just did it. We took 2 breaths. Where am I right now? Orient yourself. Put your phone down. Orient yourself. Okay, where am I right now? I'm in my room. What do I see? I see a mirror. What do I smell? I smell the incense burning. What do I taste? My mouth is dry. I'm hella dehydrated. What do I hear? I hear the air conditioner, which it's 67 degrees in the morning. Why is the air conditioning on? Having a little fun with y'all. Right? Engage your senses. That is something that you can totally do. Right? So you've engaged your senses. And then at that moment is when you give yourself a moment to grieve. Because now you've dropped into awareness. Wait. You've dropped into your awareness. Hey, I need the phone charger from right there. You've dropped into your awareness. And after dropping into your awareness, you now know that you have disconnected from tech and you're able to see what you're doing. This ain't no professional show over here, not yet. It's coming though. The professional show is coming. I'm like the next Oprah. I hope I'm making y'all laugh. I'm talking about some serious shit and having a good time. I don't know about y'all. I'm having a great time because y'all know I don't take this stuff too seriously. Y'all know I don't. Y'all know I don't take this too seriously. You can't. We in revolution. We're artists. We're creators. Can't take this moment serious right now, although it's a serious moment. You got ice in here?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So something happens. You stop. You notice where you are. It's your noticing practice. Where am I right now? Perfect. You would then engage your senses. You stop, catch your breath. Wait, I'm out of order. My brain, y'all. The damn strokes got me all over. First thing you do is take a breath. In for 4, out for 6. Ground your body. Where am I in space right now? What can I see? What can I smell? What can I taste? What can I hear? Then what does my body feel? If somebody taking notes, we gonna need a cheat sheet. I can feel it. What does my body need to feel right now? These lights are bothering me. What does my body feel? What's in my body? Let's practice it in the comments. Whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Substack, what is your body feeling right now? Give me some words. Give me a one-word sensation. What is your body feeling right now? Engage with me. Real. I don't know if that's your body feels real. What does that mean? Your body feels real. What does that mean? Tingly. Tingly. I hope that's a good tingle. If you a woman, I hope it ain't. I hope I'm not turning you on. I'm just playing. I'm sorry. I can tell I've grown in the last few years because I'm just having a good time with y'all. Tight, tense, tingly, tingles all over. Listen. Oh no. Oh God. Oh, I'm like this is a live show. I'm having all kind of accidents. This happened before at a team retreat. I was like, I'm about to make me some water. And probably not a good idea to put magnesium in mineral water. Hope that helped your tingliness. Maybe I don't need a live show yet. Okay, so we got real, tight, tingly, tense, not the good tingles. Oh, okay, thank you. We got buzzing. Thank you, Nicole. Nicole's over on LinkedIn. That's what you're feeling right now. Okay, great. So now we're naming what our body feels. All right. So do me a favor. Do me a favor. Take your hands, if you are accessible, and just kind of shake your hands out. Shake your hands out for me. Tension in your jaw. Move your mouth around. Whatever you're feeling, especially if it's in your face, you're clenched. Move your mouth around if you can, like that. Shake your hands out though, and like shake them like you're shaking something off of you, like shaking. If you're feeling tight, tingly, shake. And now take that same energy and you can just slowly kind of like shake it off, wipe it off. You're just like moving your energy. This is not Tai Chi or Qigong. Now we're going to push that energy, just kind of push it down into the earth. If you're able to stand up, you can even just kind of shake your whole body and just push it all down. Push it all, like ground yourself into the earth, like move that energy that you're feeling. You got it? Shake. Shake. You can move that energy. Pretend like you're just wiping something off. Just, it's like you're just imagining that you're taking the energy and you're like, yeah, I feel this, witnessing how I'm feeling, but I'm transmuting it. Because when you transmute energy, when you move your energy, when you take the energy you're feeling and you put it down into the ground and imagine as it's going down, it's being met with roots of wisdom, and the wisdom is taking down but putting back up into your body, it just gives you a nice practice. This is just something quick. Because it could be easy for me. You keep going, keep shaking if you want, or you can stop. It's easy for me to be very intellectual with you. But my goal is not to just be intellectual and have you in your head all the time. My goal is to help you engage your senses, right? To engage what's possible, to engage something outside of your thinking space. Because you know what led to a stroke? Me thinking all the time, me worrying all the time, me being in this fear all the time. and we're experiencing real fear. But we have to know to stop and breathe, notice our senses, shake our body. I mean, if you want to twerk, come up to the grief cross, maybe we can twerk. But you have to be able to engage all of your senses. You have to be able to engage your senses. And this is not easy. We're used to being logical. We're not used to having to feel our feelings. We're not used to having to feel into the moment. It's like, okay, what do we do? What's the next right action? What if the next right action was learning to sit with yourself? What if the next right action was just learning to say, this is a lot? What if that was your next right action? To just notice, to name how your body feels, and to move with the grief. What if that was your next right action? So I'm going to read now. I got to get back on TikTok because my phone died. I'm going to get Heal Your Way Forward, do a little bit of reading. TikTok just announced okay, well, thank you for that announcement. I'm going to start on page 49. We're going to read The Room for White Tears in my voice. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to read till I feel like stopping. I am going to stop because I got to get ready for Grief Circle, which I think starts at, I don't remember what time. It's not good. I don't remember what time. Hilarious. All right. Let me just get myself together here. Grab your books if you have it. I have no idea what TikTok is doing. Y'all know I don't be using these apps like that. All right, we're going to read Heal Your Way Forward. Chapter 3, There is Room for White Tears. Okay, so I want to give some context to this. So it's at 3 p.m., Grief Circle, links in the bio. When I initially, let me pull that up so y'all can have it. Just a second. Oh, God. I remember like 3 years ago, I said that on the internet, and people just lost their shit on me. People just lost it. Like, all I said was that there's room for white tears, and people just lost it. People lost it. People were so upset that I told white folks that they could cry on their anti-racism journey. It took it way out of context. We're like, what do you mean? What do you mean white folks can cry? I mean, white people need to emote. They need to feel the moment. They need to feel it to heal it. I don't know what else to say. It ain't letting me show the screen. But I want to let y'all know. Let me put the link here so y'all can see. If you go to this link that's going to come across your screen, you could join us in Grief Circle at 3 o'clock. There's a suggested donation of $10 because I can't work for free anymore. And I'm okay with being honest with that. You could join us for Grief Circle. You don't have to put the question mark in there. Just let me edit that so you can see. This will take you to the link to join us for our Grief Circle that's happening in an hour. Because I'm actually going to take a break here after I'm done reading. There it is. Join us for our Grief Circle. It's like 5 hours. I have a Zoom open for 5 hours, and we are going to hold space, process, practice, cry, dance, do what we do best. Widespread freaking out, Mary. There was widespread. I was like, there's room for white tears. And people were like, oh my God, what do you mean? I guess I was right. No, I'm just playing. Kind of. All right. So there's room for white tears. Grief does not change you, Hazel. It reveals you. There's room for white tears. Yep, I said it. And in fact, it might just be one of the most controversial things a Black woman can say. But guess what? It's time that we break the patriarchal notion that grief is for babies. We need to challenge the notion that we must pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and pretend as if our complex human emotions don't exist. Outside the scope of race and binary thinking, we must begin to process that white folks also need to grieve and do this work. I am not saying people of culture need to be the ones to hold space for that grief, but what I am saying is that white folks need to understand why grief is necessary for the journey. Imperialist, capitalist, ableist, and white supremacist patriarchy is the embodiment of suck it up culture. Deny your feelings and keep on keeping on. What I love about growing up in Black matriarchal culture is how it recognizes grief as a necessity, allowing for sadness, but also for the humanity of moving forward. I once preached on a series called The Gifts of the Black Church, where I shared, I am the prayer and the tears of the ancestors who knew something was better to come. Their grief made space for me to come alive. They worked, cried, and prayed for me into existence. Had it not been for their collective grief and belief, I don't know if I could stand before you and speak. And now I write. If, as a white person, you continue to deny your space for grief on this journey, you will continue to perform, perpetuate, and polarize yourself into your soul's work. You might not recognize grief right away. The fact is, you've spent a lot of time in the state of doing, reading, researching, posting, and podcasting. You probably haven't made space to sit and process what you think, feel, and desire. And maybe right now you even feel like this is just another tick box on your never ending co conspirator to do list. Read the book, watch the video, feel the grief, and done, right? No. The idea of hyper performance and getting things done for the sake of saying you did it, it's not only not helpful, it's harmful. Most movements fail because folks aren't spending time truly understanding the humanity of their work. From the jobs that pay to the deeper inner journeys we all take on the path to being human. Since most white folks only respond to trauma and pain rather than being self compassionate and present for the ongoing journey ahead, they will wait for a detrimental moment to happen. And like clockwork, they will show up, sign petitions, rally, take workshops, and check the checkbox of being anti racist. But that's just more doing, and doing is the opposite of awareness. Awareness is an inner process of facing yourself and auditing not just the world and the systems within it, but yourself. A self audit requires you to begin the integration of this work. Rooting yourself in self compassion, you begin to integrate your identity, friends, choices, and the power you have to be proximate and support others. You might start evaluating the intellect, your thoughts, values, and belief systems. But ultimately, the deeper research is found in your heart, which is in the true inspiration for radical action. We can know something is unjust, but when we feel it in our hearts, we are moved to action. This is why we must address the grief. We must stop and feel the pain in our chest, the burn in our bellies, and the tears in our eyes. If we are constantly checking boxes, we aren't offering ourselves the space we need to not just understand this work, but also connect to its deepest purpose. When you recognize this audit as part of the process, you can see this necessity for grief on your journey. Often being a co conspirator requires white folks to lose a part of who they were, even if that part of themselves brings up sadness or shame. In 2019, I was preparing for a workshop entitled Radical Self Compassion in a White Supremacist World. I knew that white folks had been indoctrinated to not hold space in this work to feel or grieve, let alone cry. In fact, I was told by many that white folks were too exhausting to have a conversation with on compassion. But I constantly pushed back because honestly, we're all exhausting. I know I'm exhausting to my partner, and shit, kids are exhausting all of us. The rhetoric around white folks do what white folks do and don't deserve drove me all the more to want to hold a workshop on what it means to be compassionate, what it means to be human, and ultimately what it means to struggle with the ideology of not all white people. I was explaining the workshop to one of my teachers as I wanted to use it as a standalone project for my senior thesis. She told me that I was onto something, but one thing that was needed was a space for white tears. As my professor said, how revolutionary would that be? And I remember hearing her thoughts and saying to myself, what the hell? No one is holding space for my perpetual pain navigating the world as a Black woman in society. What do I look like holding pain for white folks pain, holding space for white folks pain? But then I remembered an experience I had recently at my job at the church. Bringing church into a conversation around anti-racist frameworks is probably taboo, but I'm going to take the chance here and use it as a teachable lesson. If Christianity isn't for you, well, then we have something in common because it's not for me either. Let's just say I'm sharing my insights for science. There was a time I was undergoing the process to co-lead the deacons board at a multiracial church. The goal of the deacons board was to make unbiased and supportive decisions to help the church and community members in crises. Part of the process was reading Acts 2, verses 42 through 47 about the theology of fellowshipping as believers. In this part of the Bible, it talks about finding common humanity, breaking bread together, praying, being in community, offering mutual aid, selling possessions and giving them away, and creating fellowship among people. It does say that. I began to realize that collective liberation meant I too would need to learn the radical necessity of being in community with white folks whose common belief was healing and building new systems. Who was I decide whether white folks could or should have space to grieve? If at the end of the day, all of the human experience and humanity is tied to one another's liberation. But let me be clear and say, don't put this expectation on other bodies of culture. A lot of white folks will take this work literally and begin triangulating people of culture's work against one another's. We are not your space to grieve, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't find to create a space to hold the tears that you deserve on your journey. I argue with people all the time about the necessity of white grief on the journey of healing. Some folks tell me I'm crazy for even believing that I owe white people my time and space to grieve, but we forget two things can be true at the same time. Yes, white folks can be problematic and harmful as hell, and still everyone deserves the right to have their humanity. All I know is this: we are constantly evolving as human beings, and if we don't allow space for folks to grieve, we are only continuing to perpetuate and duplicate systems of oppression. And those systems, imperialist, capitalist, white, supremacist, ableist, and patriarchal, don't want us to be liberated. They are rooted in maintaining the ways the systems functions, having power over others, leaving little space for vulnerability. They monopolize on the pain and suffering as others. This is why dominant culture is rooted in individualism. It pushes you to look away, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and reject the pain, the shame, and the vulnerability. It requires that you reject community because it is in community that we heal. And you know what a healed society looks like, you know what a healed society looks like, don't you? It's not having to buy shit off the internet to feel better. It's not so scared and lonely and depressed that it doesn't have the energy to speak up and fight for justice. It's not so starved and overworked that it doesn't have time to give a damn. A healed society is dangerous. And I'm going to stop there. This is Heal Your Way Forward, the Co-Conspirator's Guide to an Anti-Racist Future by myself, Maisha T. Hill. This is the new emerging collective, the Heal Your Way Forward Collective. You can find out more about our collective at healyourwayforward.org. In the next hour, I will be opening up a room for grief practice. For whatever reasons, I cannot share what this looks like, but if you click this link, that should be on the screen. If not, let me add it. The room is open for 5 hours. So when I ask myself, what can I do? What can I give? What space can I hold? What can I do as Maisha T. Hill for the collective? I'm a space holder right now. Because having a stroke, that's all that I have capacity to do is hold space and use direct compassionate communication to help hold that space. That's what I'm doing. So allow to share screen. Share this screen. I don't even know. It still ain't working. I think I'm in the wrong platform. So if you go to our link in bio, if you go to this again, go here. You can see it. If you're on TikTok, you can't see it. But click that link in the Heal Your Way Forward bio on TikTok. And go to stand.store Stand.store/heal your way forward. Stand.store/heal your way forward. Join us in an hour for our grief circle. If you're on our email list, you'll get an email. If you're on Substack, you'll see a note. Because this is what we're about to do. We're just about to hold space. We're about to be together for a few hours. I might pop in and go live. I just want to say thank y'all for letting me read. Thanks for listening to Heal Your Way Forward. You can get a copy. It is in the TikTok shop. If you're on TikTok, you can grab you a copy. It's somewhere in the link. Because, yeah, I'm crashing in real time. So I'm about to drink my magnesium. I'm about to take my heartbeats, modeling how to take care of yourself. I love you all so, so much. Please join us for the grief practice. If you're a white woman, join us for white women getting grounded in the morning. If you're in the collective, we got a book club. We're working all weekend. Listen. I'm doing a lot of work. You're welcome to buy me gift cards. I will take a massage on Monday. I love you so much. I will see you all in the next hour. And until I see you all again, hydrate, take a break, and keep living it to your work. I love you guys. We're going to make it.